went through that first mile, 14:19. That's okay. I'll take it. Like I said, not that long ago, that first mile would have been 20. So it's dropping. Even when I've had some big workouts, I'm still able to push it down to that 14:19 range. All right, let's see how I finish this first workout. I think that's about my third one of these 2-mile walks I've done under 28 minutes now. It's getting to be a habit. Even tired, I'm starting to lock it in. A little bit tired today. I don't even want to say that word. I feel great. I feel like the guy who woke up at 4 and said, this is a test, and went back to sleep for 3 more hours. All right, I'll go get Furley B out for a little walk and then drop him off, and then I got my 5.5 hour run walk. All right, I'm just about 2 hours into my 5.5 hour walk run. And I'm doing a little better than I thought. The first mile was sure. I shouldn't say the first mile. The first like 3 miles were pretty tough. I had to get my mind around it. But I'll tell you, I'm up a little higher on the park than I've been, and it's amazing, these guys, what they did to save this park. The first responders and the firefighters. Because man, this is like one. You know, it's just these trees, you know, there was a lot of brush in here, man, and these guys it would have just gone up like crazy, but well, they laid the hammer down on all this and put the stop. Like this trail here winds up and around. I just came down it, and it's by the little lake up there, and that was like the fire break that they were not gonna let it get across. They were worried. I was talking to a lady who came right up to her house. Or right, you know, they started a backfire right behind her house, and they said that they were worried that if it got into those houses, it would just go like it did on the other side of town when everybody was caught off guard, where it first hit, you know, with the wind whipping, and it's just miraculous, man. A lot of smiling people around here, and I was reading the sign like this part, you know, it's not as bad as you think. Like you'll see, like, oh, it's burnt, but. I mean, you know, it's supposedly up on top. It's bad, according to this lady who went up there. But I don't know, every place I go, it's not as bad as it is in my imagination. My imagination is way worse. So this is probably 2/3, 3/4 of the way up the mountain. This trail, you know, kind of cuts across, and this is all still open, so that's all cool. Anyway, it's awesome, and I feel better than I thought I would feel on this thing. I'm over 20 hours for the week too. Like I should be coming in above that after this workout. So that's a pretty good. I haven't done a 20-hour week in a long time, so this is huge. About 3 hours and 15 minutes in, trying to meet the darkness on the way back over the mountain. Pretty much out of calories and out of gas. It goes hand in hand. I'm sure I'll get some more running going though once I get a little more downhill. But this is character building time. Almost 3 hours and 15 minutes, almost 12.5 miles. So these are the, this is where the trail's closed off going up to the top of the mountain. And it says temporary. Look right there. Temporary. I heard there, you know, where the trees got burnt pretty bad, they're worried about limbs falling on people's head, and my buddy calls those widow makers. Better be lucky than good. Don't get hit by one of those limbs. Anyway, I don't know when they're gonna get this opened up, the top, but I'm grateful for what's open. I'll tell you, I'm grateful. All right, I wanted to show you guys this before I came off the mountain, even though I'm getting really close to getting caught in the dark. And this is a rock. There's big rocks on this mountain, man. It's hard to get off when it's pitch black, but I do have my headlamp, so. But this is where I hiked up with my buddy, man. And this is Lake El Sanjo, and we hiked up here. It goes down that way too. It's a huge lake. It's like, I don't know, 3/8 of a mile down to the dam and back or something. I think I have the record. I forgot how many times I swam back and forth in this thing one time training for the channel. It was a bunch though. And but anyway, we hiked up here. We brought our lunch. We ate at this little picnic bench right here. And we went for a swim, and I thought to myself, man, someday I'm gonna move up here because this is freaking beautiful. Look how gorgeous this is. And it didn't burn. Look, you can't see where it burned. It's over that hill somewheres. But, and I did, and I moved up here, and I've been here for 18 freaking years, and I love this mountain. I love it. Not enough to want to get caught in the dark tonight, so I think I'll get down though. I'll tell you one thing I learned from Arrowhead is get that headlamp on your head before you need it. So I you know, at the first sign that my headlamp was dimming a little bit in Arrowhead, I should have got into my sled and got my my backup headlamp out. And I waited I didn't feel like I waited that long, but it started to go out really quick, and I couldn't find the headlamp. And it's pitch black there in the evening, in the night at Arrowhead, and I was panicking trying to find that damn thing. And by the time I found it, I shot like a huge wad of adrenaline. I was like, if I wasn't already exhausted enough, I was super exhausted from trying to find that light and tearing my sled apart. So now, I've got this little puppy right here, man. So all I gotta do is click the button when I can't see anymore, and it's getting close to that. So as I'm heading down the mountain, I keep thinking about how badass those firefighters are and the first responders. And it's kind of like they were at war with that fire on this mountain. It's like, we got to hold the line. We got to hold the line at El Sanjo and that fire road, the trail that we're on. And we got to hold it there. No matter what, it can't get across. And they freaking held it, man. That's pretty badass. I look, every time I talk about this mountain, man, I get choked up, man. I just lived here, been on this mountain too much, man. There was no way this thing was going up in flames. And those guys did an awesome freaking job. When you sit there and look at it firsthand, you're like, wow, this is a lot of territory to keep the fire from coming down. And they did it. They had the eye of the tiger. Oh, and the one lady I was talking to, her house backs right up to the mountain over there. And she said she was feeding these guys from Oregon and Washington. They were down here fighting. And they, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, they were just like non-stop going at it, you know. And I'm sure that's the normal up here, you know, just, and they would come down and she was feeding them at night. And I was thinking, like, I thought of it later. I said, or, you know, a couple nights she fed all of them, you know, like, I don't know, 20, 30 guys or something. And I was thinking, like, That's a good idea though, man. If the fire started bearing down, it's like, get out there and fight the fire. You got all these guys sitting there eating. Anyway, good idea. Always make friends with the firefighters. One thing I've talked about before, and I can't emphasize it enough, is the mental aspect of this. When, you know, as I'm getting close to finishing up a 5.5 hour workout, I'll probably do 20, 21 miles, whatever it is, up over the mountain twice, and finishing off in the dark. These are the memories you reach for when you're out there in the middle of Tuscobia or Arrowhead, and the temperature starts to drop to minus, you know, in the middle of the night to minus 15, minus 20, minus 25, minus 30 degrees. Your freaking hands are numb. And you're starting to nod off, and you got to make it to the next checkpoint. And these are the things you reach for that let you know, you paid your dues. You're doing what it takes. You're doing what it takes. I know that I'm doing what it takes to finish these things by doing these workouts, and like I said, they'll be there in my memory banks to reach for when I need them. So hopefully you can see that screenshot. 5 hours and 35 minutes, 20.5 miles. Look, my legs are a little shaky, but that was a kick-ass workout, man. I was real happy with that. I didn't have a lot of strength, but I kept it together mentally and physically, and really, really happy with it. Awesome day. So my Alto lab workout, I consider it a workout. I don't even know for sure if I'm doing it right, but it makes me a badass in the mountains. So I'm like, this is my first session in like a year, but I think because I don't know, I keep myself in pretty good shape since I just train nonstop. But where you know, this is like the first week. You don't normally, normally you're somebody new doing this would just try and keep it between like 90 and 95, on the oxygen thing, which is right here. This little sucker, this is an all oxygen thing. And this is my trusty thumb right here. So normal is like, you want to be up, you see sea level 97. So I want my oxygen to start out with up at like 97, 98, 99, whatever. And then you work, so I'm trying to get it down. I don't know, I like going right for 75 to 80, and I want to be at 20,000 feet. I want to be at 20,000 feet. Aconcagua was at like 26,000 feet, but this just helps. And I think, this is like exercising your lungs, man. I mean, this thing somehow, this builds up, there's a lot of science behind all this. The guy who's a rep for this, my buddy down there, he's like a engineer, and so he can talk all the technical on it. But me, this is like an ass kicker. It's a workout. I mean, it flat out is a workout, and it turns you into a badass. And a lot of people, there's a lot of athletes using this, and and mountain climbers and things like that. And he was telling me like MMA fighters are using it. He's had Olympians. Things like that, but nobody, people aren't going to talk about using something that works. If you're in a competitive field where there's like prize money or Olympic gold medals, they don't really want to talk about things that work. Where I'm out to share anything that I'm doing, because I want you guys all to kick ass, man. I want us all to kick ass. I don't get prize money. I'm trying to get followers and subscribers, and I want people I want to help people. I want to motivate people. You work every angle. You work the science, you work the hard work, you work your ass off. So I go 6 minutes on, 4 minutes of breathing regular to recover. So I start at 50, I go to 55. This is my last one. This is my 6th one. So I do it for an hour. So 6 minutes on, 4 minutes off. So what you're watching on this right hand side is my oxygen. No, this is my oxygen level. This is my heart rate. And I go 6 minutes on and 4 minutes off. And if I can hold at 76 to 80, that's in like the 20,000 range. 76, yeah. And then when you start going above 86, you're at 15,000 feet. So I try to, you're supposed to work your way down to this. This is my first one I've done in like a year of these. And I love this altitude simulator, and I'm trying to hold, I want to be in the 70s, man. This is a workout. I count this as a workout. This is my 3rd workout of the day, so I definitely count this. All right, to the X calendar, long day, 7 hours of training on only 1,798 calories. Ooh, that was kind of tough, but all I know is I'm getting skinny. And I felt it on that run today. I felt it. Yeah, there we go. All right, everyone, have an excellent night. The X chain keeps rolling.